There's a pervasive stigma around mental health and mental illness in the Caribbean. You hear it in the way that we talk about mental health and mental illness. You see it in the way that we engage with someone who is going through a struggle. And what that often means for young people is that we don't have safe spaces in which we can open up and talk about what we're struggling with. It often means that we're forced to struggle alone. And it means that when we reach out for help, sometimes we're told that what we're struggling with is just another part of life, or it's not valid, or you don't need help for that, or you don't need to air your dirty laundry. And so founding LUI was my way of being the change that I wanted to see in my community. It was founded to be a safe space for young people to come, speak up, open up, and to discuss and learn more about mental health and mental wellness. When
LUI started, when I came on board, it was an Instagram page, and I didn't think too much of it. I didn't think that it could possibly snowball into what it has today. So I think we have grown for sure in the space of advocacy. We have been invited to some tables, some spaces that thinking about an Instagram page to where we are now is kind of mind-boggling. I knew that it would be promising. I just didn't know that it would have this effect.
At the very beginning, LUI was just mainly a social media platform where we're going to, create information, generate content as it relates to mental health and posting so that others can read it, motivational quotes, information as it relates to school items such as test anxiety, burnout, overcoming obstacles. So it was just a platform where youths can get access to, get information as it relates to mental health, and getting tips on how they can manage their mental health and promote and boost their mental health status.
I think in those early days, LUI was essentially a resource, a platform that young people could come onto and just talk, just open up, just learn more about mental health and wellness. And really that was the vision, to just be that safe space. But of course, given the pandemic experience and mental health being brought to the fore, and being a bit upset about the lackadaisical nature in which CARICOM governments were approaching the matter of mental health, that vision grew. And so I think we'd be best described now as an advocacy organization which champions that cause of demanding action and interventions to make mental health a reality for all Caribbean youth. And I think we continue to strive towards that goal, and we've made major progress thus far as it relates to that.
I think LUI's impact so far has been really great. We currently have about 1,700 followers on Instagram, and we've been able to do Instagram lives and engage with members of our community through Instagram, and it's been amazing to hear their contributions. It's been great to have a chance to listen to what they have to say with regards to all sorts of different topics. We talk about relationships, we talk about conflict, and it was just a blessing to be able to listen to members of our community.
LUI's impact so far has been massive. With projects such as LUI on the streets, we've been able to really engage with the Caribbean community and elicit their take on mental health and mental wellness, while providing resources and tools that we feel could benefit them.
So LUI's impact, every time I think about it, I get chills, because it's been bigger than I could have ever comprehended. I just came from a World Health Organization and PAHO high-level meeting, but 3 years ago, all I was concerned and focused on was making a post. Right? I met with the minister in the Ministry of Health. 3 years ago, I wasn't thinking about that. 3 years ago, I was just like, what is going to be my next quote? Who are we going to get for our Future Friday, right? So I think that being able to collaborate with HCC, for instance, HCY, having our panel discussions, having persons from different parts of civil society, non-governmental organizations, it's just been so amazing to see what we can do and what happens when you collaborate. I think that's how we were able to see such a great impact, because persons started to realize, well, you know, these people are serious about what they're doing and they want to extend their reach.
In my mind, the impact has been tremendous. And just thinking back to just our first year of existence and starting from scratch with 0 followers and working our way up to our first 500, and just the amount of support and engagement that garnered. And I think of just being able to be invited into spaces where we could talk and share what is the youth experience, why are young people struggling, what are some of the barriers that they face to accessing help and treatment. And I think just getting that word out, boosting the awareness of the struggles that young people have, boosting the awareness of what are the strategies and policies that we'd like to see implemented, and having people actually listen to that. I think that was step number 1, people listening. But then beyond that, the fact that we've come to be somewhat an authority on all matters youth mental health in the Caribbean region, that people are eager to partner and engage with us, that we're being welcomed to tables with policymakers and key agencies in the field of youth development and youth mental health. I think that speaks volumes to the work that we've been able to do. But I think for me, what has been the most impactful part of our work here at LUI so far is our capacity to reach out to the community. And so I don't think a lot of people are aware that we do lectures and town halls and sessions with other civil society organizations, as well as even religious groups. And so I think we've had so many interesting and engaging seminars with even people in the older generations to show them that, hey, young people are struggling and here's what you can do to help. And so just interfacing with people even across generations has been the measure of our impact, has been the measure of our advocacy, that we will go where we need to go. We will go into rooms across Barbados and afield to share this message that mental health matters and that youth mental health ought to be made a priority.
Based on the interactions that we've seen and our reach, we can say it has been a big impact. We have done a lot of things, a lot of events. We have done our lives, our feature Fridays, our Youth in Action webinar series, also our collaboration with HCC, which is Healthy Caribbean Coalition. So we have done tremendous things in our past, and it's amazing to see how many people have reached out to us and wanting to work with us, because they are seeing the importance and they're seeing the drive that we have to push mental health and to ensure that we try to reduce the stigma surrounding mental health, and know that it's okay to talk about our mental health, and it's okay to talk about the things that we are going through and try to learn ways to cope with situations that may be difficult for us. So it has been a tremendous impact, and I'm hoping that in the future it continues to be impactful and others can see what is it that we're doing and join and come along on this journey with us.
What I love most about what I do at LUI, I would say between content creation and engaging with our followers. David and I, we were going through the LUI page, and I was going back to some of my old designs, and I was so proud of those designs. You know, I had a color for every day, but it was the same color hue, and I was really excited about getting out my content and getting out my posts and quotes and stuff. So that was really big for me. I think now I like more of the planning. So when we have our panel discussions, our training sessions, like all of those things. I like the planning aspect of it a bit more now. So I've kind of taken on that role more.
What I love the most about working at LUI is I really feel like I'm making a difference to the lives of young people. I've received comments about how our content has helped them deal with different challenges that they've been facing, or how their content has helped them to help others who may not have been sure how to deal with their own mental health challenges.
What I love most about LUI is the fact that we serve as a safe space for youth out there that are struggling with maintaining their mental health and mental wellness.
The unity and the connection that we have, that bond that we've developed over the past few years, it has been the best. And even being able to communicate and get involved with our followers, it has been tremendous. And that interaction, seeing people comment and being in agreement, just goes to show that yes, we might be different in other ways, but we have so many things in common as youths, and we are all going through, some of us are going through the same situations, and it's just a way of realizing that we are not on this journey alone. Actually, we are on this journey together, and we are all working for a common purpose and a common goal, which is to boost mental health among our Caribbean youth.
I think that in LUI I have found a renewed sense of fulfillment and purpose. I think in a very real way what we do matters. The conversations that we have matter. The people that we engage with on the street receive a benefit, a sense that, you know, someone understands them, someone cares. And I think that the young people that we interface with and that we represent also realize that there's tremendous impact in not only having these conversations, but empowering one another to be advocates for our own mental health and wellness. And so taking the conversation not from just the online space, but into the outdoors and into the rooms and to the tables where the decisions are made. And so I think what I love most about what we do here at LUI is the fact that there is impact, and that we can see and we can hear and we can observe all the changes that are happening because of the conversations, because of having the safe spaces, because of the advocacy that we do. And so in addition to all the other things like content creation and the growth that personally I've had in learning how to design, learning how to film, learning how to advertise and market, I think that inward growth matched with the fact that we have that level of impact is what I love most about LUI.
I think it's very important that LUI is youth-led and youth-focused, because a lot of the times you get, well, yes, this is for the youth, but then the youth aren't involved in the planning, the youth aren't really involved in having a say about what is for us, what is for them. So I think it's very important that we listen and we continue to listen to our youth and, you know, our followers and supporters, and hear what they want to learn, hear what they need, and, you know, just providing them with that, because if we as youth can't provide for one another, then nobody else is going to do it. And I think once we raise awareness and say, well, you know, the youth are actually important and not just a box to be ticked, then I think that other persons would also see the importance and involve us more widely in things that are supposed to be, you know, for the youth. So I think it's very important that we're leading that charge.
I think it's very important that it is youth focused and youth led, because we are the future. Also, I must say that we are the present, right? And we must look at the present situation that we are in. It's important to look at the future, but what is happening to our youths right now? What are we working towards in ensuring that our Caribbean youths are in the best mental state that they can possibly be? What is our action? What is it that we're doing to help them? So I think that it's very important as youth-led, because we become a voice to our voiceless. There are many youths who want to talk out, want to reach out, but they're afraid at this point. And I think it's nice to see lots of young people who are becoming advocates and expressing themselves, letting others know the concerns and what is it that we need as youths to improve our mental health status.
The stats and the facts globally and regionally point to one thing. They tell us that young people are struggling, that young people are having challenges with their mental health and with their mental wellness, and realizing the fact that all of these things are important. And so I think it's very important that we have organizations that represent the youth voice, that can showcase and share through lived experience what it is like to be a young person growing up in the Caribbean. And I think that LUI has always represented that. We've always been youth-led, we've always been youth-focused. And I think it's just important that we also have a pulse on the community that we represent. We understand them because we're going through the exact same struggles and challenges. And so I think it's very important that when we step into the rooms with the policymakers and the various stakeholders, that we can represent that, and that we say to them, you know, enough is enough and we need urgent action. And I think too often in the Caribbean, we have a situation where we're creating policies and strategies that are intended to impact the youth, but we don't include the youth. And so, again, that's the reason it's so critical that an organization like LUI can involve young people, can have them be central to our focus and to the advocacy that we do.
What makes me proud to be part of Team LUI is that it's a youth-led organization that I really feel believes and cares for other young people, and cares about those who are going through different mental health challenges. I've had the opportunity to just talk to a lot of people through LUI, and being able to be a part of an organization where people know you for the work that you're doing is really touching.
What I'm most proud about being part of LUI is being part of this amazing family that we have within our team. We work really well together, and I genuinely enjoy being a part of such an amazing group of individuals.
What makes me proud to be a part of Team LUI is that we aren't afraid to step out of our comfort zones. Another event that just came to my mind from the previous point that I just made, for instance, was LUI on the streets. Now, for persons who know me, know that I like to talk. I can talk for days, but when we were to go and speak to the general public and hear their feedback on mental health and what they want, you know, I was nervous, right? But I like that David, especially when he has a vision and he runs it by us, it's just like, you know, you may not feel comfortable now, but it's something that is necessary, right? So I went out with the team, and then, you know, eventually I got a bit more comfortable. But I like that we don't stay in that comfortable state, because for many persons, you know, you can't grow in comfort, right? You grow in discomfort, and especially when you know that persons are relying on you for, you know, that they'll pick me up on a Monday, or, you know, what should I do for self-care on the weekend. You can't really be lackadaisical in that sense, because it's not only, you're not doing this for you, you're doing this for wider community, right? So I think I like that we put a lot of what people will need from us into our work, and we say, well, if this is what people need, this is what we're gonna do. So I really like that about the team. We really think about those we impact and the longevity of it all.
What makes me proud to be part of Team LUI is just LUI has given me a platform. I have never seen myself becoming an advocate for such a big topic such as mental health. And I'm just so thankful that LUI has given me that platform to become an advocate and to spread awareness as much as I possibly can, because I'm seeing the importance of mental health. We have seen it, especially going through that pandemic. We all went through it. We all were afraid, in a state of panic, the unknown. It was stressful for us. And I've seen the importance of talking about mental health and trying to keep our sanity, especially during that time. So I'm so proud to be part of Team LUI, and I'm so thankful that they've decided to add me and include me on the team.
I think there's several reasons I have to be proud of being the president and founder of LUI. I think firstly, it's the team. The people who've come on board and have remained committed and dedicated to the mission that we set out upon, and that they show up week in and week out to do the work and to create the change and the impact that we want to see. I think secondly is the supportive and encouraging community that we've created in the online spaces and throughout the Caribbean region. There are so many great partnerships and friends that we've made over the last 3 years that continue to inspire us, to motivate us, and build a key partnership that is necessary if we ought to move forward the needle on mental health. But I think as well, I am proud of how much we've been able to accomplish in such a short time. And of course, this is in major part due to the heightened focus on mental health over the last 3 years, given the COVID-19 pandemic. But I think even now, that vigor and that excitement and that eagerness to continue is still there. And the vision is very clear what it is that we want to accomplish. That's the Caribbean region ultimately, where everyone, regardless of their background, regardless of their race, age, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, whatever it is, that they're able to access care and access that without the fear of ridicule, judgment, or negative consequence. That is the vision. And that's what we're working towards. And I think that our vigor, our dedication is something that we ought to be very proud about.
Looking back at our journey, I think what has gotten LUI to this part and to this stage, I think, is our commitment, to our motto, our commitment to what we stand for. It was created to try to break the stigma surrounding mental health and be a safe space for young persons. And I think in everything that we do, we always try to link it back to our way. We're here to listen to persons. We're here to, unite persons together, all in the name of our mental health, and we're here to inspire. So I think in everything that we do, we always try to link it back to why we started this. I think also when we created our 7-point advocacy plan, I think that really cemented and broke down in stages what we needed to do to achieve the goal of why we were created. And I think that, along, as I mentioned, with the collaborations and being open to persons in this space before, I think that has helped us to get here. When I think back on it, it's happened so quickly because, as I keep saying, we started as an Instagram page, and now we're full-blown advocacy, being invited to meetings, being invited to speak, and it's a great feeling to know that we're being listened to, and young persons are being listened to, and more is being done for mental health in Barbados. We're obviously not where we want to be, but I think we have seen small strides being made, especially coming out of COVID-19, that really gives some comfort to know that if we keep pushing, if we keep advocating, if we keep talking, that these things can one day come to fruition.
I believe it is the determination and the consistency that has gotten us this far. Yes, we have had a tough journey ahead, but I think our ability to come together and, despite our obstacles and challenges that we faced along the way, we were able to come together and realize that, yes, we all have a common purpose and a common goal, and we want to be able to achieve that common goal. So I think our drive to pursue LUI and to ensure that we achieve our aims and objectives for LUI has gotten us this far.
Of course, what we've grown to now is not what I originally envisioned, but I'm happy that we've remained grounded in the principles that we were founded on. The idea that we would listen and be a safe space for others where they can open up and we can all freely share what we're going through without fear of being ridiculed or judged. The fact that we could unite around the similar struggles that we face and that we would inspire each other to reach out for help and to take the next steps to get the necessary care and treatment that we need.
So over the next 3 years, I have about 3 things that I know that people really want from LUI and what we want to give to you. For sure, the podcast. Everybody keeps asking about the podcast. Yes, we really want to get the podcast up and running and have that for you. Also, our ambassadors. We know that persons like what we're doing and they want to come on board and they want to help us in this mission. I think also being open to membership as well is something that you can look out for, and I think bigger collaborations, bigger ideas, all in the name of advocacy and all in the name of supporting our young people and just giving them what they need, to make it through this life. Life is tough, life is hard, but any little thing that we can do to make it easier, that's something that we're 100% on board to do.
I think over the next few years, you can expect growth and expansion from Team LUI. Growth in terms of our numbers, in terms of our membership, but also in terms of the work that we're doing. I very much want to get on the ground and to do more, to reach out to more schools and other civil society organizations. I want to have an impact in the workplace. I want to instill and do more programs and initiatives that will literally help young people, but also bridge the gap in terms of the generations. And I think what you can really expect is that we will go above and beyond to raise awareness, to demand action from our policymakers and key stakeholders. I think that you can expect that we will do more in terms of utilizing media to raise awareness, to do more for advocacy, to expand the number of resources and services that there are available for young people to access, and to stay true to the values that we set out and to the mission that we've created for ourselves. I think that's what you can expect for the next 3 years.
What I envision for LUI in the next 3 years is that we grow to be more involved in the community and expand our community outreach projects. I also hope that we are able to impact mental health policy change in a much bigger way.
Yes, we've been on social media and this is our main platform. We're not going to leave social media, but just moving, a step further from social media actually, and going into the fields and trying to get policies and regulations in place to provide, for the relevant authorities to provide the necessary resources for Caribbean youth, the rehabilitation centers, especially for our, people with chronic mental illnesses. And the politicians, for them to be aware that mental health is a priority and that they should make it a priority, and allocating budget and funds so that we can have more resources, more guidance counselors, more therapists to help our Caribbean youth.
I envision that LUA would have its own podcast show. We would bring on guests and we would just have candid, real, transparent conversations surrounding all sorts of topics related to mental health. I see us making presentations in schools and inspiring young children, children in primary and secondary schools, to take charge of their own mental health and to gather up other youth so that they too can advocate and promote mental health and wellness in their schools and in their societies. I even see us making appearances on TV and other media, particularly having a documentary displaying the lived experiences of other youth and how they deal with their mental health challenges. That would be really cool, I think.
So, here's to 3 years, here's to inspiring the community, here's to bringing together the youth, here's to advocacy. There's so much more I can say, but LUI, you've really changed my life. Even working with the organization / group, it's really been a whirlwind. I've been exposed to so many people, so many different things I would have never thought about. So yes, cheers to LUI, cheers to 3 years, and cheers to many more.
Here's to being a part of this amazing organization, and here's to all the amazing things that LUI is going to do.
I just want to, as we celebrate 3 years, another milestone, I just want to say big hearty congratulations to LUI. I'm so proud of how far we've become, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for us. I know we're going to continue to work along, with each other, and you, our followers who have been with us from the very first day. Those of you who have just joined in, we appreciate you so much. I cannot express how proud I am to have you as our family, and I am praying and hoping that you continue to work along with us, and you continue to work with us, in all of our future endeavors to ensure that we push mental health further for our Caribbean youth. So toast and congratulations and happy 3-year anniversary.
A toast to LUI.
So, here's to more conversations, more advocacy, more action, more leadership, more initiatives, more programs, more access, more resources, more for mental health, more for Caribbean youth.
More for mental health, more for Caribbean youth.
More for mental health, more for Caribbean youth.
More for mental health and more for Caribbean youth.
More for mental health, more for Caribbean youth.